Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream live on Twitch on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the United States, 10 a.m. in Australia or 1 a.m. if you're in the UK. I hope you guys and girls are well. It's good to see you. You were first Smurfery Barbecue and Sniper Girl. It's good to see you as well, if you say so. Hellforge, good to see you too. Good to see all you guys and girls so early in the morning. Well, for me anyway. And good morning to you, Hellforge, as well. Good to see me back. Oh, well, it's good to be back, Hellforge. It is. I mean, I enjoyed my break, don't get me wrong. I did. But it is good to be back and chatting to you guys and girls. I do miss streaming when I'm not doing it. Sniper Girl says, good to see you also. How was your vacation? 2 a.m. is early, right? It is early. That's right. It's earlier than me. You beat me. 2 a.m. is earlier than 10 a.m., which is what the time is where I am. My vacation was good. Yes, no, I enjoyed it. There was no technology, so no TV, no phone. I did have electricity. But I forgot to take my camera, so that was a bit of a bummer. Because normally when I go to my cabin in the woods trip, I like to actually take my camera because I like to wander through the forest. We call it bush in Australia, but through the forest, taking pictures and stuff. And I forgot my camera. And I don't take my phone because I don't want to be bothered by work. So I couldn't take any pictures, which wasn't good. Yes, Smokebberry not taking the camera. Silly, silly me. Hellforge says to Sniper Girl, that's hard to answer without going into it. So let's just say I've been alright. Well, that doesn't sound good, Hellforge. I hope you are okay. I hope you're okay too, Sniper Girl. Remember, if you want to chat at any time, you feel free to contact me. Okay? If you message me on Discord, I'll get a notification, even if I'm not logged into Discord. I get an email, so I will find, if you do message me and you need to talk, I'm here. Okay? What are we doing? You've been doing better? Well, it's good to hear. That is good to hear. I don't want to get into it publicly on stream, but these things happen to everybody. Everybody. And you don't want to be in a situation where you're not happy. So, and it's not healthy. But you're not alone. It's happens to us all. Don't worry. Yes, we're working on the house in the hollow. We finished the study before I went on break. And now we're going to start working on bits and pieces, but mainly stuff for the attic, I think. There's not a lot that needs to go into the attic. It's a relatively small space, so it shouldn't take us too long. Thank you, Hellforge. Yes, we are working on the House in the Hollow game, so the attic for the game, which you can wishlist right now on Steam by clicking the link that Hellforge has just popped into Twitch chat. Remember too, guys, if you've got any questions while I'm working, feel free to ask. If you just want to watch though, that's completely fine. Hopefully everything is working properly. My router, I get back from vacation and my router for my internet conks out. It just stops working. So I had to desperately race around to get a new router delivered because I'm in lockdown now in Melbourne, of course, because of the human malware. The city I live in has been re-locked down again. So we all can't leave our home, which isn't good. So yeah, I had to get a new router sort of express shipped to me. So I almost I couldn't stream because the router, it just died. It died. I mean, it wasn't that old. It was only about 2, maybe 3 years old. Anyway, good excuse to buy new hardware. Sniper Girl says, appears to be working well on 1080p with no lag. Good to hear. Because I did. I had to upgrade the router. And the new one's much more complicated than the old one to set up. Anyway, as long as it's working, that's the important thing. But I thought, just my luck. I get back from vacation and the city goes into lockdown and my router dies. So, really dehydrated this morning for some reason. No, I didn't drink. I don't drink. Dehydrated. my apologies for drinking on stream constantly. Hellport says not having any issues on my end. Well, that's good. Good to hear. I'm glad to hear it. Okay. And yeah, and actually the stream is being recorded now to an SSD on the stream machine, not my hard drive. So I just want to make sure that's all going okay, because, you know, new hardware, you never know. Okay. Yes, so we're going to work on the attic. We're going to do bits and pieces for the attic. The attic isn't very big, so it shouldn't hopefully take us too long. Famous last words, I know. But today, I think we're going to work on something that will probably be in the attic, maybe. But it's not actually anything to do with furniture or anything like that. Drink coffee, all right. Well, that's a good point too. Yes, I've got a cup of coffee here. I'll have that right now. Oh, I do like coffee so much. Okay, so if we jump into Max, we're going to be working on this, what am I calling it? Dragon Bowl. The Dragon Bowl has like this crystal thingy inside of it. So this is like going to be one of those things that the player has to pick up and use in the game. So let's do that. We're going to be working on like a spiral staircase, and we're also going to be working on something for the basement. I may jump to doing that before we work on the rest of the stuff for the attic. I'll see how I go, see how we feel. But I want to put like a lift in the basement. It's sort of like just beyond the basement, but anyway. So we might work on that, depending on how quickly I can get it made. I've got it about half done so far. If I can get it modelled completely, then we'll start working on doing some texturing and UV mapping on that asset. Yeah, and I'm not really quite sure with the lift if I'm going to go with like a mesh. The lift is actually it's like a circular lift up cylinder, and the original idea was to put like a fine mesh around the cylinder on the inside of the lift, but I may make that glass. But that's a decision we'll tackle when we actually jump into Unreal and put the basement section together. But this is the Dragon Bowl, which, like I said, has this crystal inside of it. And this is what we're going to work on today. And this is an asset you'll be picking up and using to put in your inventory. So I think the first thing we need to do is UV map it. I'm going to keep these separate and UV map them as pieces, I think, and we'll do a repack in Max on the UVs. So let's send one of the dragons over. Sniper Girl says, Dragon Ball. That's right. Can you make wishes when you get all 7? It's the Dragon Bowl, not ball. I know it's my Australian accent's hard to understand, but I get the reference. Hellforge says, can't you make a material with glass and a metal mesh sitting... You know, that's a good idea, actually. Yeah, actually, that is a good idea. I hadn't thought of that. I could do that. I don't know why you'd have a metal mesh and glass, but there's nothing to say we couldn't do both. And it could look quite interesting. Now, the whole reason I'm going more for I'm leaning more towards a glass-walled elevator is simply so we can showcase ray tracing, because ray tracing is quite important in games now, apparently. No, it is. It does look cool. Hellport says, not sure how well it will mix in the engine. Yeah, I don't know either, and we can look at that when we jump in and start creating the shader in Unreal for the walls of the elevator. Hellforge says extra protection. Well, that's true. In case the glass breaks, I guess. I mean, glass sometimes does have like a wire mesh through it. I don't know if you've noticed. It's mainly the old-fashioned glass, not the new glass. But they used to put like a wire mesh through old glass. I guess it was a safety thing. So we could do both, but we'll tackle that when we jump into doing the basement and start making the shader for the elevator. I have to finish the elevator first. It's like I said, it's only about half done. Anyway. So let's send this little dragon over to UV, Rhizome UV. Okay, let's see which one of these will do the job for me. Not great. We're getting a little bit of stretching happening, so let's see if we can get a better result with one of the others. A better result, but still a little bit of stretching, mainly through here. Probably wouldn't be too bad, but we'll see if we can't get a better result still. I love this program. It saves me so much time. Hellforge says, yeah, as fun as it is to plan the parade, you got to groom the horse and hitch the cart to it before you can cruise down the street. Very true. That's not going to work for us at all. This isn't too bad. See, we're still... Pardon me. I'm just going to mute my mic for a minute. Got a frog in my throat. We're still getting a little bit of stretching happening just through here. It's probably not as bad as the other one. We probably will go with this one, I think. We're getting a little bit in here as well. You can see it just in here. Looks like we might have an overlap here, actually. Let me just have a look at that. I'm just going to optimize a couple of these unwraps where it looks like it might be having a few issues. We'll see what that gets us. So I'm just going through the model, and anywhere where it's red or blue, I'm using the program. The program, you probably can't see it's behind me, but there's a little optimize button. What that does is just optimize the UVs. So if we look at this bit here as an example where we're getting a bit of stretching, which is the red. If I optimize it, it clears it up. Aside from that, not too bad. It should work for what we want. Again, I'm just optimizing a couple here where it looks like the mesh may have been, the UVs may have been overlapping. We'll do a repack when we get into Max. We won't do it in this program. Not that this program can't do a repack, but I tend to prefer Max's packing. Aside from that, I think we should be good. Hang on, let me catch up with the chat here. Smurfberry says, I fondly remember my time as a horse. You crazy, Smurfberry. I missed you guys, you're all nuts. Hellforge says, solid UV, ship it. Hellforge also says, I played enough Saints Row 3 to be intrigued. Hopefully you had fun horsing around and kept one of your shoes for good luck. Okay, let's send this back to Max. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw an unwrap UV down in Max, and I'm going to get Max to repack the UVs for me. We're not going to use the pack tool here. We're going to use the one under the tools menu. Just because it has a few more options here than you get with this one. I do want to fill holes. I don't want to rotate. I do want to normalize and I do want to rescale. That's better. Okay, now we should be able to Turn off map seams because I don't like that. Copy the unwrap in the modifier stack, and with a bit of luck, we should be able to paste it on this one. And we can, because they're an identical mesh. I know when I put it together, I just copied and pasted the mesh. Okay, let's do the bowl next. Again, this program, Rhizome UV, it's called. You can either buy it or you can rent it, like everything else nowadays. Just search for Rhizome UV, R-I-Z-O-M UV. Anyone new that wants to know what the program is that I'm using. So, you know, if you've got a project that's you've only got 1 or 2 assets you want to do, then maybe rent it because it's cheaper. But if you want to use it a lot, then buy it. If you want, you don't have to. Like I said, your 3D program you use has UV mapping tools built into it. The advantage of this program is it has really good algorithms and automatic unwrap tools, which is what I love because it saves me so much time. That's the one. Thank you, Hellford. Rhizome UV. Search for that on Google and you'll find it. It should be the very first hit you get on Google. That one's not going to work. We may have to break this up. Actually, can I break it up? Let me have a look. Yeah, what I'm going to do with this, because it's such a complicated shape, it's going to be hard for the program to map everything at the one time. But if I can go in and isolate these pieces, it just helps the program work it out a little bit more easily. You sort of know from the shape which of these ones is going to work better. Usually. I might just try the pulp mapping one, just to see if it's going to give me... Usually a pulp map here is not going to be great for this sort of shape, but you never know. Yeah, not going to work. This is the one we want. Now, pelt map might work on this one. Let's see. We do have a seam running through the middle here, but that's never really going to be seen too much. The interior here, we're getting a bit of stretching, but that's not seen either because the bowl sits on top of that. We're getting a little bit through here. Not enough to worry about though, I don't think. Let's try the pelt map again on this one. And that works quite well. I don't think we've forgotten anything. I don't think I need to do a Actually, I do need to repack the UVs because I did it in bits and pieces. Okay. We're getting a UV map relatively quickly, which is good. Let's do this. Now I know this looks like a big lump of poo, to be crude, but that's actually meant to be a rock that the crystal formation is sitting on top of. It's just, yeah, just like this lump of rock. Let's send that over to Ryzen. Must make sure it's an edit poly. Did you guys hear that, I don't know if it's a rumor or if it's been announced yet, but I think NVIDIA, the rumor I think is that NVIDIA are no longer manufacturing the 20 series video cards. Smurfberry says unwrap rock, planar from, well no, like that could have worked. A planar map probably would have worked. Planar map though, we probably would have got a bit of stretching happening along the sides because it maps from, you know, one direction. So we could have used a planar. It's a rock texture and you probably could have got away with it because I don't think you'd really notice that too much stretching, but we would have a little bit of stretching along the bottom here. Yeah, with this sort of shape, if you're going to be using Max or your normal 3D program, generally a pelt map is probably the better way to go. Snapper says relax, done. Hellforge says sounds like a good way. So yeah, it would, like I said, it would be a good way, but you will get a little stretching. Snapper says no, I haven't heard anything about NVIDIA except that the 3000 series isn't far off. That's right. Hellforge says I don't normally do rock, so I'm not sure which is the best way. Normally with rocks, my suggestion would be a pelt map. Yeah, planar will work depending on the type of rock it is, but something like this, planar mapping, like I said, you're going to get a little stretching happening just along the base here. Like it'll look great for 3/4 of it, but right toward the end here, you're probably going to get a little stretching happening. Where if you use a pelt map, you're not going to get any stretching happening anywhere around the rock. So my suggestion for a rock, do pelt. And Max has built-in pelt mapping. Most 3D software does. Seams, yes. Yeah. Yes, Smurfberry is correct. We are getting some seams here. That is true. I mean, we can check some of the others here, but I don't think we're going to get a better result than a pelt. But you never know. This one, where we have no seams at all, it's like a quasi-pelt map, but we are getting a bit of stretching on the top of the rock. This one might be a bit better way for us to go. We're not getting a lot of stretching. The red colour is very light, so if seams are an issue, we'll go with this one. I don't think seams would have been an issue because it's a rock texture and it's going to blend over the seam quite easily, but if it was a pattern, then that would certainly be an issue. Hellboard says, closest to rock I do is ZZ Top and Creedence Clearwater Revival. I stand by the statement that Black Sabbath is metal. If you are doing rocks, a really good program actually to do retopology on them is, and to map them out, is ZBrush of all things. ZBrush. It does actually quite good retopology and it does pretty good unwrapping as well, automatic unwrapping for you, UV unwrapping. So yeah, if you don't want to use something like Rhizome and you're having problems unwrapping it in your 3D program, another possibility is ZBrush, but I mean ZBrush is much more expensive than this program, so, but it does a lot more things than this program. Pick your poison. Smurfberry says he said it, he said the word. What did I say? Sniper Girl says, oh, ZBrush, your favourite program. You guys know how much I love ZBrush. But look, it's the interface I hate. The program itself is very good. It's the interface that's terrible. They've got to update that interface. It's just terrible. I have never used a program like it, and I hope I never do again. I hope no new piece of software that's ever made has an interface as bad as ZBrush. But the program itself is very good. Sniper Girl says, yes, seen you make love with it the other day. I was in ZBrush the other day. What was I doing? I was using it. I can't remember. What was I making? Oh, that's right. I wanted to do hair clumps. That's what I was working on, which I didn't actually succeed at doing, so I've still got to tackle that project. Sniper Girl says, yeah, agreed. ZBrush is pure cancer with its interface. It is. It's terrible. It's a terrible interface. I mean, the way that they nest crap within crap within crap. Just the design of the interface, it's just awful. Awful. I mean, they haven't changed it since ZBrush was first made. Now, you know, you can say, well, Max hasn't changed their interface either. Well, Max has, so cheeky. Max has and hasn't. The layout is the same. They've updated the icons and made it 4K and all that sort of shit. But at least it's clean and easy to use, whereas ZBrush's interface is just so unique to ZBrush. Let's do the crystals now. Gotta watch my mouth. Go away for 2 weeks to a cabin in the woods and then come back speaking like a drunken sailor. Helpwood says, I thought old Blender's interface was bad, but apparently I dodged a bullet with ZBrush. Oh, God. ZBrush, I can load ZBrush up and we can do a review of the interface if you guys want. We can point out all the terrible things in ZBrush's interface. Mr. Squarepeg, it's good to see you, Mr. Squarepeg. How are you? You been well? I hope you're all surviving okay wherever you are in the world with the human malware going around. It's sort of taking off again in different spots, and I know it's always been quite bad in the US, but yeah, it's not good because I'm back in lockdown. I can't leave my house unless it's to go shopping for food. Not happy. But apart from that, I'm doing really well. I hope you are too. Mr. Square Peg says, I've been in quarantine for the past 4 or 5 months. I'm taking this serious because my state opened early. Well, I don't want to get into a political discussion, but I will. No, we did the same thing in this country. Like, we've never had a huge amount of... We've had enough cases and we've had people die, which is really bad. And we got on top of it, so we got our cases right back down again. And when they got them down, the government of this country decided that they were going to open everything up again. They opened everything up again, and now our cases are spiking back up again. So if I was running the country, we would not have opened up again. Now, I know people have jobs and they don't want to lose their jobs. There are reasons the government want to open the economy up. I know, I get it. But I put human life above profit. I'm sorry, but that's just the way I think. I would rather save someone's life than help a company make a profit. And I think they opened up the economy too quickly. And I think that's the problem with this virus. It's incredibly easy to catch. Incredibly, it wants to spread around, and opening up too soon is just a recipe for disaster. So that's my opinion anyway. 4 or 5 months in quarantine, man. We went into quarantine for 2 months, then they opened the economy back up, and now in the city that I live in here in Australia, in Melbourne, we're back down in lockdown again for the next 6 weeks at least. Sniper Girl says, yeah, the US is #1 with the human malware. Yeah, I've been seeing the news reports on the American news channels, and it's terrible. You guys are having a really bad time over there in the US. Sniper Girl says, one of the few things we're #1 in. It's America. America's #1 around the world. But, yeah. The whole thing is just awful. It's just a bad situation for the world. It's just bad. Mr. Squarepeg says, I would have bailed out people before companies. So would I. A human life is worth much more than profit for a company. But again, look, I get the argument that people will lose their jobs if they don't reopen the economy. And okay, you lose your job, you're still alive. You can find another job. You catch the human malware and you die, well, you're not going to be finding another job then. That's it. So the argument to me is a bit hollow, really. Human life is much more important. Remember to save. Yes, I have to do that when I jump back into Max. Thanks for reminding me, Hellforge. Sniper Echo, it's good to see you, Sniper. How are you? Afternoon, how's it all go? How's everyone? I'm good. Had that good break. Nice and chilled and relaxed. Pile of work to do, but hey, that's just the way it happens. What happens when you go away for 2 weeks? But it's good to see you, Sniper. I hope you're well. Snowberry says, cancels rents, freeze everything. Cancel rents and freeze everything. I agree. No one should be paying rent. The government should be giving us money for free. Snowberry says, resume later. Yeah, well, resume. Are they both spelled the same way? I don't know. I use a spell checker, so. Hellforge says to Sniper, easier to say alright than getting into it. He won't say what's going on. I hope he is okay. You tell us if you're not okay, Hellforge. We're here to support you. Sniper says, my toaster sets off the fire alarm, so it's useless. Sniper Girl says, with the lockdown agreed, we should get money for free per month. It's what they're doing in Canada. Well, actually, they're doing it in this country as well. The government here, surprisingly, the Liberal government in this country, have been quite good. Well, at least until September when it all runs out, whereby people who work for companies that have been affected, they have what they call Job Keeper, which is like the thing that you guys have in the US, I believe, where the government pays the company money to keep the staff employed. So they sort of... every 2 weeks they send a check to the business and the business then pays the employee. So instead of sacking them, they can keep them on the books and hopefully, even if they're not able to open up and work, they're still actively employed by the business. We also have a social safety net called Job Seeker, which is for unemployed people who have lost their jobs. The government doubled that payment every fortnight. But all of that runs out on the 24th of September, I believe. So we don't know what's going to happen then when the money gets cut off and all these businesses that have only stayed in business because the government have been paying their employees to keep them on. Yeah, we don't know. So all up in the air until when September comes. Until September, though, people are getting money, even though they are locked at home and not working. Mr. Squarepeg says, on the bright side of the political stuff here in the US, we are getting a very progressive platform from Joe Biden, thanks to Bernie Sanders and his campaign. Yes, I did hear that too. Mr. Biden, didn't he make... A few days ago, he outlined his plan for if he was to become your president, how he would do things and what he would do to help improve people's lives, which is good to hear. And it's good that he's taking policies from the other candidates as well. If they're good policies, then they should be used, regardless of who came up with them. Now, this is going to work okay for us for this because even though we're getting a few cut lines, the cut lines are actually along the edges of the crystal, so they're never going to be noticed because the crystal's very geometric. And I will be using a shader that I've created inside of Unreal for the crystals themselves. We won't be texturing those up in Substance Painter. I've already made a specific shader, crystal shader inside of Unreal. So. This Square Pig says, yep, there's more coming as well. Now back to the art stuff, that's right. So yeah, we are getting a little stretching happening as well. But knowing how I've created the crystal shader, I know that this bit of stretching we're getting is not going to be noticeable in the engine. Because I made the shader myself. I know how it works. So let's send that back to Max. Wow. What the? Jeez, that was Ryzen actually doing that did that. That's a new one. I've never come across that problem before. I did update to max 2021.1, so I don't know if the update's done anything. Sniper Echo says it's true that the reality TV guy is now president in the US. Oh no, you're so behind on things. He's only been there for what, 3.5 years now. I've never got that either. Like look, I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm just making a comparison between you guys in the US and us here in Australia. Most of our politicians in this country are either ex-lawyers or ex-economists. You guys in the US, you tend to, you've had a few, like, wasn't Ronald Reagan, wasn't he a TV guy? He used to make movies. And of course, Mr. Trump is a reality TV star, so. Sniper Girl says, pleased with that one. Oh, pleased with that one, Mr. Squarepeg. Did you hear about Biden's super PAC? A bunch of supporters of George W. Bush Jr. formed a super PAC for Biden? Really? You really think you will be progressive? Phil's computer smoker. Yes, that's right. It didn't crash though. Max didn't crash, you notice. So they've improved things, Autodesk. But that wasn't Autodesk. That wasn't Max. It wasn't a Max error. That was an error coming from Ryzen. And it's probably more to do with not the program, but this plugin that I'm using, because it's a little bit buggy. It's free, but it's buggy. So I'm not going to bitch about it because it's free, but it is buggy. Mr. Squarepeg says to Sniper Girl, I'm working with Biden's campaign. I was part of the Sanders campaign, and I would not be doing this normally. Well, good on you. It's good. More people have to get involved in politics. It's your future, guys. I mean, see, in the US, you guys aren't forced to vote. In Australia, we're forced to vote. It's compulsory. If you don't vote, you get fined, and it's a big fine. It's like thousands of dollars. So yeah, you really got to be more engaged with your politicians, because they run your country and they control your lives. So you really want to make sure that you've got people in there that are going to do what you want them to do, not what they want to do. It's important. It's important. It really is. Make sure you vote. You US people. I'm not sure about the UK, whether it's compulsory there or not, but in the US, I know it's not. So get out and vote. It's really important. Hellforge says, well, I did get a rise out of me. Bloody hell, that scared me. Sorry. Sniper Echo says, sit the front door, 3, and you need to read some more. I need to comprehend what you're writing there. I think I get the gist. Mr. Squarepeg says Reagan was an actor. I thought so. Mr. Squarepeg also says who worked with Barry Goldwater. Don't know who that is. Sniper Echo says, I swear this autocorrect is killing me. Sniper Girl says, I still think he's going to be a complete BS. He'll be the next Obama, progressive platform up to the point of getting elected, and right when he makes it. Yeah, look, I have to admit, I was a little disappointed with Mr. Obama. I mean, he still did a lot of good stuff for you guys, like Obamacare and all that sort of stuff, your health system that Mr. Trump is winding back now. But so he did try and do good things for you. I think he's tried to do more good things than Mr. Trump is trying to do for you anyway. That's just the impression I get as an outsider looking in. I don't live in your country, so I don't know the ins and outs of it all, but just from someone sitting on the other side of the world and looking at what's going on, I think Obama was a better president for you. He helped you guys more than Mr. Trump is helping you guys. Mr. Trump is good at helping his mates, but I don't think he really cares too much about the rest of you guys in the US. Personally, that's the impression I get. Sniper Girl says, and by right I mean international right, not the US standard of right wing. Our Overton window is so far right compared to every other country in the world. Sniper says, politicians say whatever sounds good to the masses and then do whatever they want. That's exactly, they do that in this country too. Look, yeah, it's like that around the world, unfortunately. You just got to vote in the least horrible one and hope that they they do what they promise they're going to do. That I can agree on. Mr. Squarepeg says, good. You can agree with. Sniper Girl says, I can vote for Biden, not with his... I can't vote for Biden, sorry. Not with his history on his super PAC. Refuse to back anybody backed by a bunch of war criminals. See, again, I'm not familiar with what you're talking about there, so I don't know. Mr. Squarepeg isn't going to push Biden on Sniper Girl, so that's good. You vote for whoever you want to vote for. It's your right. You vote for the person you want to vote for, regardless of what everyone else is telling you. The space human Phil for president. Well, you wouldn't want me in charge. And I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't want that job for all the money in the world. It just, no. Too much pressure. It's good to see you, Space Human. Hope you're well. Elfwood says, I guess the TLDR, I've been struggling a lot lately with finding the motivation to actually work. Been almost 2 weeks since I modelled anything last, and a few more weeks before that. And I recently dropped a fair bit of pocket change on Substance Designer. And I just can't bring myself to sit down and work with it. Motivation is basically zero at this point. That's, again, something we all struggle with. Like, there are times, you guys know I love doing 3D. It's my life. I couldn't imagine doing anything else. But there are times where I find getting motivated really hard as well. I've said to you guys before, being creative on demand is exhausting. A lot of people think that creative people you just sit there and you make art all day, and how wonderful and stress-free is that? Well, it's stressful. Trust me. If you're doing it on demand, you've got clients that want their project, you've got bosses and managers that, want the thing done. It can be incredibly stressful, and being creative on demand is stressful. So staying motivated to do work can be hard. It can be, because I've gone through periods where I couldn't be asked doing anything as well. So it's okay to take a break. I mean, it's different if you're working for a studio and you've got a deadline, but if you're doing your own personal projects and you're not feeling it, don't do it. I've said to you guys, don't force yourself, because you won't do good work anyway. So wait, give yourself a break, let yourself recharge, and when you're feeling it, do it, and you'll do better work. Substance Designer is a full-on program. Like, I don't use Designer. I use Painter, and I have played with Designer, but I didn't want to devote the time needed to learn Designer because it's not that important to my workflow. It's a good program, but yet it's very complicated to use. It takes a lot of time to learn. That's what I mean to say. The Space Human says, I'm doing great, thanks. I'm glad I caught you. I'm glad you caught my stream too. It's good to see you. Mr. Squarepeg says, anyway, who here is excited for Blender 2.90? Sniper Girl says, to Hell Forge, honestly, know the feeling. Went a month to a month and a half that way. Again, guys, I know, if you're not feeling it, don't do it. Don't force yourself to do it unless you need to for work. If you're working for a studio, you've got a deadline, or you've got a client, you're doing private work. That'd be the only time I would ever say to you, push through and do it, because it's going to affect your income if you're doing private work, and it's going to affect your job if you're working for a studio. But if you're doing stuff for your own folios and things, and you're not motivated to do it, don't do it. Wait until you are motivated. Take a break. That's why every year in the middle of the year I go away for 2 weeks, because if I didn't do that, I'd either burn out or I'd end up hating what I did. You need time away sometimes, you really do. And it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. Snowberry says, Blender needs sculpt layers and a real UV system. Well, that's what Ryzen's for if you don't want to use Blender's UV system. But it's not free, unfortunately. But Ryzen is free. You can't bag Blender is free. You can't bag Blender too much. You're not paying for it. I mean, Come on. Snowberry says, we'll accept good performing shape keys plus multi-res in lieu of sculpt layers. Hellboy says, Designer is basically a more streamlined version of the stuff I did daily in Blender with a better user interface. Well, cool. It is a good program, Substance Designer. Adobe Designer. I think they still call it Substance Designer. Mr. Squarepeg said, try this for UV stuff. Text Tools. Actually, Text Tools is available for Macs as well, 3D Studio Max. It's a script you can install. I used to use it back in the day. So it is good, I agree. If you're doing UV mapping inside of the 3D program, it's sort of it's an extension and an enhancement for UVing inside the 3D program, if I remember correctly. Oh, my apologies, Mr. Squarepeg, you got timed out. Remember, don't post links in my Twitch chat, guys, unless you're a sub to my channel. Now, I can see the link that you posted, and Smurper probably can as well because he's a moderator. So I will repost the link here that Mr. Squarepeg posted, because it would have been removed from anyone watching that wasn't either a moderator or me. So that's the link that Mr. Squarepeg was talking about, Text Tools for Blender. And I'm sorry about that, Mr. Squarepeg. But yeah, if you've got links and stuff, oh good, he has posted, Mr. Squarepeg posted in the Discord server, the link as well, which is good. It's good to have it in the Discord for other people that might have missed the stream, because as soon as the stream finishes, the chat clears, and so that's why Discord is probably better for links. If you want to link to something that you think might be useful for other people that watch the channel, because it will stay in Discord, it won't disappear. No problem. And I posted it there in Twitch chat for anyone that isn't a Discord member, but why not? Join the Phil Does 3D Discord server. You can post links to your work. There's a gallery where you can show off your work. You can post links to your ArtStation and your folio, all that sort of jazz. So, and it's a good group of guys and girls. They're all very friendly, very helpful. If you've got a problem, you can ask a question on the Discord. So yeah, if I'm not streaming, you can catch me on the Discord, the Phil Does 3D Discord. You can get an invite link, just click the graphic below my stream at any time. So if you're watching this stream back at another time, or you're watching it maybe on YouTube, just go to my Twitch channel, and in my panels below my stream page, you'll see join the Phil Does 3D Discord. Just click that graphic, that'll give you an invite link at any time. Smurper says yes, and as Sniper says, yeah, throw the link in the Discord channel. Smurper says, which he has. Text Tools is still hobbled by Blender's stupid. You can't see the UVs if you're not in edit mode, or you can only choose 2 half-baked viewport sync node modes. Design philosophy. No, you like to hate on Blender. Sniper Girl says, yeah, Discord, the bot can be anal. Yeah, it's a naughty bot. Naughty night bot. He's gone mad with power, that little bot. Mad with power. That's why it likes to spam my links as well. You'll notice that Nightbot's spamming links to my Twitter and all that sort of stuff. It's got a mind of its own, that little bot. Sniper Echo says, I use Text Tools. It's really good. Yeah, I used to use Text Tools as well in Macs. It is good. It's free. So, well, it used to be. No problem, Mr. Squarepeg. You don't have to apologise. Okay, I know it's hard to look at. Yeah, just as a reminder for everyone watching. You can post links in Twitch chat, but only if you're a subscriber to my channel. They're exempt from that rule, so only subs can post links in Twitch chat. But everyone that joins the Phil Does 3D Discord server can post links. There are no restrictions there. If you join the server and you're new, there is about a 20-minute cooling down period before you can post anything. That's just to stop spam bots and all that sort of stuff. But we can override that. The moderators or I can override that if I'm streaming. Let us know, and we can make you a member pretty much immediately. But you will become a member automatically after 20 minutes on the Discord server. Or message one of the moderators if you really want a link posted in Twitch chat, and provided the link is appropriate, they will post it for you, because they have the ability to do that as well. And the moderators, for anyone that doesn't know, look for the little graphics there. That'll tell you who's a mod, but the mods are Sniper Echo, Sniper Girl, and Smokeberry Barbecue. So any of those that are online when I'm streaming, you can ask them anything. Sniper Girl says, started playing D&D online recently with human malware. A ton of people are doing the same thing. Been thinking of making battle maps in Unreal and taking screenshots for D&D online games. That sounds like a cool idea. It does sound like a cool idea. Yeah, I do think that's a good idea, actually, Sniper Girl. I think it's a very good idea. I think it's a great idea. Smokeberry says, sounds like an untapped market. Yeah, I think that's a really interesting idea. You should pursue that. Look, yeah, do. I think it's great. Sniper Girl says, thanks. So, I think so too, to be honest. Sorry, I can't read. Can make some extremely realistic battle maps in Unreal. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Hellforge says to Sniper Girl, I did that with Deathwatch game I ran last year. I made the battle maps, textured them and rendered them in Blender for uploading them on Roll20. Let them talk amongst themselves. Smokeberry says, I bet if you set up a smart terrain material, you could potentially automate some of it with different textures at different altitudes and slope angles and such for dungeons and grids and such. Yep, that sounds like a good idea too, Smoke. That's certainly easy enough to do. Setting up a shader to do that. Mr. Squarepeak says, I have a buddy making a 3D virtual tabletop. That sounds cool. Hellboard says, the one thing I'll say is that it can be hard to get the lighting right to indicate changes in elevation on the map. Sniper Girl says to Smokeberry, that's what I was thinking as well. Can use a ton of free bought assets to cut down on actual dev time. Yeah, again, you know, that's the reason that I sell my models online. I mean, I sell them for people for two reasons. People that buy my models that I sell online, they buy them for two reasons. They either buy them because they want to make some art with them. So they want to buy my model, put it in their own environment, render out something, whether it's for a commercial thing or art as a hobby. Or people that want to buy my models because they're short on time and they need to use it in a project. They're generally the people that buy stuff, so. There's plenty of stuff to be purchased online. And ArtStation, actually, if you want to buy your models and stuff on ArtStation, I know I sell my models on ArtStation much cheaper than I sell them on the creative market. So the prices for models you pay on ArtStation are really low, which is why I only have a very small subset of my models available on ArtStation. So, like, I think I've got 4 models from my catalogue that you can buy on ArtStation, whereas I've got like 40 models on the creative market sort of thing. So it's only a very small selection on ArtStation. But I make sales on ArtStation, which has surprised me. Since I've even having just those 4 models for sale, I've made quite a few sales on ArtStation. So, but they are very low value sales. So yeah, and there's the Unreal Marketplace as well, of course, if you use the Unreal Engine. So. Smurper says, if you want stylized assets, I know a guy who has a pack up on the Unreal Marketplace. Well, there you go. Shoot Sniper Girl the link. Hellforge says, the Sniper Girl tossed the map I made in the gallery section on the Discord. It was the side view of it rather than the actual grid map, as I can't find right now. So check the Discord out. The gallery on the Discord. Sniper Girl says, I have a ton of stylized models currently. Ages ago was a semi-finalist in a game jam. Ended up winning a ton of stylized packs. Cool. Mr. Squarepeg says, I posted the person's Twitter to Discord. It contains screenshots of the virtual 3D tabletop. Just looking at... Oh, okay. That does look cool. Check that out on the Discord server, guys. This 3D virtual tabletop does look very cool. And it's all web-based. Cool. So let's see what's going on here with this thing now. Now, it did not bring the UV mapping across from Horizon. Why it even put this second piece in here, I don't know, but there's no UV mapping on it. I'll double check. Actually, it looks like, okay, it did bring the UV maps across. Horizon crashed before it put its modifier on. That's why I was getting confused. But what we hopefully can do is just copy and paste. And we have our thing UV map. So I can remove this one down here. Alrighty. Now, I know I'm going to be keeping this. This is going to have its own shader. It's already made in Unreal. This will be kept. This will have its own material, of course, because it's going to have to be a rock. And the rest of this will be combined into one object so we can texture it up using one texture map. So the first thing we need to do is attach these pieces together. So I'm just going to collapse the stack. And we're going to attach the two dragons. We're going to have to throw another unwrap down and repack our UVs. And I can have a copy while Max is doing that. Alright, so that's one UV texture. The rock will be its own texture and that's its own shader inside of Unreal. Snowberry says, how do I copy a link to a thing on the marketplace? What do you mean? What do you mean, Snowberry? How do you copy a link to a thing on the marketplace? Oh, are you talking about ArtStation or Unreal? So we've got that Unreal. Well, what do you mean? It shouldn't be that hard. I wouldn't have thought. Let's have a look. Or are you just being cheeky? Of course, remember too, you get these assets every month from Epic Games that are free. So every month they have a list of free assets you can download. So let's just pick one of these and say, you know, it's a normal asset. So why can't you just copy the link from up here? Oh, you're in the launcher, not the browser. I don't know if you can do it from the launcher, but from the browser it's easier now. Yeah, I don't know about the launcher. Save it. Oh yes, save. Thank you. Good point. Let's do a save. I'm going to save this as a new version because we've done some work on it. So this is going to be Dragon Ball Crystal _opt for optimized _2 for revision 2. Thanks for the reminder, Hellforge. I would have forgotten otherwise. Smokeberry says, reason for 547D, why Epic's launcher sucks more than Steam. Well, Steam have been doing it for a lot longer too, remember that. Steam's been around for much longer than Epic Marketplace. So they've had a lot of time to refine their launcher. Not that I have to defend Epic. Epic can do that on their own. Actually, did you hear that Sony have bought a share of Epic Games? Which is interesting news. I think Sony invested 250 million or something into Epic Games stock. So they have a minority share in Epic Games. I wonder if that was why who is Epic are gonna hate me. Who's the guy that runs Epic Games? Tim Sweeney. I wonder if that's why Tim Sweeney was so what's the word? I want to be diplomatic here. Enthusiastic about the PlayStation 5. That we find out now that Sony are investing in his company. I'm not saying the PS5 is bad, or what Tim said was. I'm not suggesting he was being influenced in any way. Personally, I think the Xbox Series X is probably more powerful than the Sony PlayStation 5. So if I was going to buy a console, it would probably be the Xbox X, because the graphics in it are more powerful. But I know that Tim Sweeney was saying very complimentary things about the PlayStation 5 recently. Which I'm sure is going to be a great console as well. They're both going to be good. But the Xbox, I think, is more powerful. Sniper says, any of you guys tried out the free light version of ZBrush? I didn't know there was a free light version. So no, I haven't, because I wasn't aware of it. Smokeberry says, if you're going to compete against a 10th generation product, you should not be launching a 2nd generation product. I guess that's true. Sniper Girl says, yeah, heard about that yesterday. I'm excited and scared. Sniper Echo says to Smokeberry, I agree with you there. Pardon me. But we're talking about NVIDIA. So the rumor is that they've stopped production on the 20 series graphics cards because the 30 series is due to be released any time now. So again, if you want to upgrade your graphics card, just wait a little bit longer, would be my advice. Unless you get a really good deal on a current gen graphics card that you want to pick up, like a good price, I'd wait. Because the new cards are due out very soon. At least that's the rumour. And there have been enough of those rumours now that you can pretty much say, yep, you're probably looking at around about September at a guess for the 3000 series graphics cards. It'll be interesting to see the performance differences between the 20 and 30 series. Okay, so let's start by, I always like to collapse the stack and then do a reset on the X form. Collapse the stack again. I'm going to keep the pivot in the middle of the object. Like normally if you'd put the pivot here at the base to make it easy for you to actually align it to different things you place this thing on inside the game engine. But because this is actually an object that you can pick up and add to your inventory, and so part of adding it to your inventory is you can open up your inventory and actually rotate the model around to look at it. Having the pivot therefore needs to be in the middle. If it was at the base, then when it did its rotation, it would flip around like that, which would look weird. So it must be in the middle. Let's export the bowl. Let's jump into the Medusa head here and I'll go back up. And I can't remember what I called the folder. Red crystal, that's what I called it. So we're going to call it Dragon Bowl, Dragon Crystal Bowl. I'm also just going to export the rock. I could make the rock part of the bowl. I wonder if I should do that. Let me check my textures here. Okay, so this one, I'm just going to rename it from Material 30, which is not very descriptive or helpful, to Dragon Bowl. We're going to make sure that that is assigned to that when it is, and we're going to create another standard material. It's going to change the color so I know it's different. We're going to assign that to the rock, And we're going to call this one Dragon Ball Rock. Now I have to decide if I'm going to keep it separate or not. And the reason I would keep it separate is if I wanted to do something with these two pieces inside of the game engine without the bowl. So like if I wanted, say, the player to be able to take the crystal out of the bowl, I'd have to keep them separate. I'm not saying that that's what I'm going to do. I'm just trying to think now whether that is what I may need to do in the future. No. No, the player will not be taking the crystal out of the bowl. Hellforge says to Sniper, yeah mate, it's been a hot minute since last we hung out. Sorry for the late reply. Sniper says to Hell, Android Lust, it's good to see you Android Lust, how are you? Long time no see, not only because I've been away. I hope you're well Android Lust, I hope you're healthy and safe and keeping away from that horrid human malware going around. You forgot the time? That's okay. It's good to see you. How was the break? It was good. I was saying to the guys, I forgot to take my camera because I like to take pictures when I go away. Like that's the only piece of technology I take is generally my DSLR camera, not my phone. I never take my phone. But I forgot it, so I couldn't take any pictures. So I just had to wander through the forest and look at the pretty things and not take any pictures, which I guess is okay. But I like to take pictures every time I go away. So. But it was good. It was nice and relaxing, nice and recharged. It's never long enough. It goes by so quickly. I mean, I know I was gone for a couple of weeks, but it just felt like, I don't know, 4 days. That's sort of like what it felt like. Just time flies. So yeah, it was good. I'm nice and relaxed and chilled, but it was over too quickly. I'm back to the grind already. Both snipers are here, Android Lost. That's right, we've got both the snipers in the chat. Yes, breaks always do go by too quickly, Android Lost. Yeah, they always seem to, don't they? Oh well. Actually, it's been pretty good this year. Have you noticed that the studio haven't sent me away like they normally do? But I think the only reason that's been is because we've been in lockdown for so many months because of the human malware. So that's been good. I haven't been being sent to the middle of nowhere, middle of Australia. I'm happy about that. But the rest of the country is opening up. It's only the state that I live in is back in lockdown because of the malware. So that's not to say they won't send me somewhere else. So, who knows? So yes, the player will know. I'm not going to allow the player to actually remove the crystal from the bowl. That's not going to be a requirement. The bowl will be used complete in any puzzle. So I'm just again trying to think in my head of texture sizes and draw calls and all that sort of stuff. I think we're going to have at least 2 draw calls. There's going to be a draw call for the bowl, a draw call for the crystal, and I'm trying to decide if I want to make the rock part of the texture for the bowl, because otherwise we'd have 3 draw calls. 3 is not a lot. 3 is fine. Well, remember 3 when I say it's more than 3 really, because you've got a draw call for the normal map, a draw call for the diffuse map, a draw call for the roughness map, and 1 for the metallic map. So it's multiple draw calls, but provided you don't go more than, say, 3 textures for an object, and you're making a PC game, it shouldn't be a problem. If you're making a mobile game, then no, you need 1 draw call. 1 texture anyway. But because the game is being released on PC, 3 is not going to be too bad. But I could reduce it to 2 by making the rock part of the bowl. My hesitation in doing that is I want to make sure I can get enough texel detail in the texture for the bowl. If I add the rock to the bowl and then repack the UVs, I'm going to start losing more texture detail on the rest of the bowl because of the rock. So I'm thinking it might actually be better for me to keep the rock as a separate texture and just reduce the texture size of the rock itself. So say we had the bowl at 1024, we'd make the rock like 256 or 512 in size, the texture size. Yeah, I think that might be a better way to go. Sniper says, anyone besides me and the Hellforge tried node-based baking in Blender? I can't go back to the standard way of baking anymore. Hellforge says, oven baking is so 15th century anyway. Node-based is all the rage these days. Android Lost says, node-based baking sounds interesting. First time I've heard of it. I'm not quite familiar with it either. What do you mean by node-based baking? Again, I'm not a Blender user. So I'm assuming you can bake out whatever is actually on a specific node without having to go right through the chain. Is that what you mean? Or do you just mean that at the end of your node chain you've got a bake out happening? Smurfberry says you should post a screenshot in Discord of what node tree looks like. I mean, I know what a node tree looks like. Mr. Squarepeg says, have you seen the UE4 virtual camera plugin for Android? No. No, I haven't, Mr. Squarepeg. Sniper Girl says, yeah, node-based simulated baking is pretty good. Sniper says, basically you drop down a bunch of boxes and bake out any and all maps for as many objects as you want. Mr. Squarepeg's posted the virtual camera system for Android devices. This is the UE4, I believe. Plugin allows you to use any objects in the scene, including all blueprints, cameras, and move them in real time in the game scene using the virtual app, which transfers the movement and rotation data of an Android. Oh, okay. That sounds interesting. If you're doing anything on mobile or Android specifically, that does sound interesting. Again, I've not looked at the mobile side of game stuff. I'm doing the studio. We're doing PC stuff, so. But that does sound like an interesting plugin. And this node-based stuff that you guys are talking about sounds interesting as well. Sniper says there's a bunch of boxes. Really, this goddamn autocorrect is killing me. I just referred to nodes as boxes. So you throw down a bunch of nodes and bake out any or all maps, as many as you want, for as many as you want. Hellford says, sounds like you need a cuppa or tankard of that holy potato juice sniper. I actually watched a really good horror, well, really good. It was okay on Amazon Video that was made in Ireland. It was called The Hallow, so not The Hollow, as in the house on the hollow. The movie was called The Hallow with an A, so Hallow. It wasn't bad. I mean, it was interesting. wasn't outstanding, but it was all right. I love the forest environments that they showed in the movie, which I assume were filmed in Ireland because it was made by the Irish Film Board. So it was beautifully. The forests looked beautiful forest. As Mr. Squarepeg says, this is great for virtual production and it's great for framing shots. Yeah, I can see how it would be really useful. And again, I don't do any work with virtual production. But it is becoming a big thing now, virtual production for sure. The Mandalorian, they made a heavy use of virtual sets for the filming of that series. Sniper Girl says, wow, looking at assets that I picked over, mostly monthly free assets in Unreal, definitely have enough to make detailed battle maps. Probably going to look into doing that soon. I think you should. I think it's a great idea, Sniper Girl. Yeah, and do remember, every month Epic Games release free stuff that you can download from the marketplace. It's only free for the month, so make sure you check every month and get anything you want, because after the month is up, it goes back to being a paid asset usually, unless they make it free forever, which they sometimes do, but not always. You must grab it within that 4-week period, and every month there's new stuff, which is really decent and cool of Epic to do. So. Smurfberry says, still want to see the node tree. It sounds like it would be annoying to set up. You think that, but nodes actually are easier, I think, to set up than most other things. They can look complicated, but they're actually, as far as using goes, quite efficient, quite easy and quick to use. Sniper says, very cool, would love to check that out myself. Sniper also says, I'll drop a small node tree in Discord tomorrow. You're not in front of your PC now. Sniper Girl says, the Sniper Recce, you really should. I think there might be a market for realistic battle maps, especially with people being locked in due to human malware. Well, game sales and games hardware has gone through the roof, apparently. I should do some work, shouldn't I? Yeah, because of everyone being locked out, everyone's playing computer games and buying computer hardware, which is a good thing. Sniper says, I can't wait for Blender to be stable on the phone. Alford says, I saw a picture of someone using Blender on a Game Boy. Wow, really? That's pretty cool. So yeah, anyway, I think I'm going to keep the rock as a separate texture, because I don't want to reduce the texture size for the bowl. And that way I can make the rock its own small texture. So it will increase our draw call by 1 extra texture, but I think it'll be fine. But I am going to attach it to the bowl, so when we take it into Substance Painter, we can do both texturing at the same time. So let's just attach the rock to the bowl. We're going to keep the crystal. Actually, we're going to attach the crystal as well. Not that I'm going to be texturing it in Substance Painter, but when I export the model, I want it to be a complete object. So again, I'm just going to pull in one more material. I'm going to call it Dragon Ball Crystal. We'll just change the color and assign it to the crystal. So we UV mapped that as one UV. We UV mapped the rock and we UV mapped the crystal. So let's just attach them all together. And I'm just checking my pivot point here to make sure that when it's rotated around, it will be about right. We could move it up into the middle. Yeah, I might do that actually. So I'm just going to center the pivot to the object. And I'm just going to also just do another reset on the export. Let's export the model as the Dragon Crystal Bowl. Let's do a save. And let's jump into Substance Painter. Create a new project. Find where we saved it. Where did we save it? Red Crystal, Dragon Crystal Bowl. So we have our 3 maps. I'm not going to be doing any texturing on the crystal itself because, again, we're going to use a shader in Unreal for that. Let's bake out our maps. We're going to bake them all. I think I forgot to bake the others, so I'm going to have to do this again. I hit the wrong button. We want to bake all texture sets. Oh, actually, I also forgot to do vertex coloring. We're going to have to jump back into Max. I knew there was something else forgetting. I always forget something. So we are just going to jump back into Max really quick. I'm going to look at the base. Let's just go full screen here and make it easier for us to work on. And then, yeah, no, I didn't. I haven't coloured the vertexes yet. Helpful just did I change the colour ID to vertex? No, that you'll have to remind me when I jump into the substance because I bet I'll forget to do that. But I actually forgot to do the vertex colouring in Max, so we're going to have to do that. Android Lost says to Helpful, I forgot how small Game Boy Advance screens were, but I'd probably take the phone blender over the Game Boy. So we're going to make the feet their own vertex colour. So let's make that a red. We'll probably make these bits coming off the dragon's head. And also maybe these bits around the back. And maybe also these bits around its head. Let's make those their own vertex color. We'll make that a yellow. Okay, now these bits through here, the decorative sort of bits on the dragon, the dragon. I'm sure I haven't forgotten anything. Let's make these a blue. So that leaves a bit along the spine, well actually the actual body of the dragon itself. Let's make that purpley pink, which means, what have we got left? Looks like we've got a couple of pieces on the top of the head, the teeth, I think these swirly bits.
I was slipping into the shadows of the night, waiting for the darkness.
Let's make those an aqua color. I'm just going to turn on vertex coloring here so I can see any areas I might have forgotten to color up. Okay, so we've got the main part of the body. It looks like I might have forgotten to color up a couple of these swirls, so we need that one. And that one. Let's make that the same color as the others, which is this aqua. So then we have the rest of the body, which is white at the moment. I could leave it white because white is its own color. But I won't. I'll give it its own unique color, just in case I want to use something else white. So we need to do these bits. Oh, not that bit. Let's make that a green. Okay, so the dragon should be completely vertex colored now. Let's jump out of vertex coloring because it makes it hard for me to see the detail on the rest of the model. And let's move on to the bowl. So I want the feet to be their own vertex color. Let's make it a darker purple. Then I want this bit at the bottom here to be its own color. Let's make that a dark orange. Dark yellow. And then we got the part of the bowl. Let's make it a really deep green, and then we've got the bowl itself, which we can keep white. I don't need to vertex color the rock because the rock is its own thing all by itself. So yeah, it's a separate texture, so it's fine. And again, I'm just going to turn vertex coloring on to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. I think we should be good. So let's just save our file, re-export our model. Jump back into Substance Painter and update our project. Rebake out our maps, making sure we change the ID from material color to vertex color. And have a cup. Hydrate. Thank you, Hellforge. Helpful says to Android lost the phone is probably more powerful anyway than the Game Boy these days. Most likely the smart thing to do. Why would you want to use Blender on a mobile device though? Why? I can't imagine using Max on a tablet. Even a tablet. I need the keyboard and mouse, and I need to find control over it. I need a Wacom pen and stuff. I couldn't imagine using a phone to do 3D modeling, man. Mr. Squarepeak says, I'm guessing sculpting. Masochism, mesmerism, all that. Yes. Okay. Let's just save the project before we start doing any texturing. So. Or, no, not the quartz crystal. We want the red crystal. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. We're going to call this Dragon Ball. Chiotara, it's good to see you, Chiotara. How are you? Have you been well? My first day back after 2 weeks of being on holiday. The afternoon to you as well, Chiotara. It's good to see you. I hope you're staying healthy and safe with the human malware going around. Sorry, I'm just checking everything's still working properly because I said to the guys, I went away for 2 weeks to the cabin in the woods to refresh, and I came back and I was getting ready to make sure everything was cool for me to start streaming again, and my router died. So I had to quickly find a new router to replace it so I could stream. And because I'm in lockdown in Melbourne, I couldn't go to a shop to do it. I had to get it delivered. So it was a bit of a panic getting everything. First of all, researching the right router that I wanted to buy, and then making sure it was delivered in time. Not just for streaming. I mean, I use the net constantly for work. So yeah, come back and I had a dead router. Not a dead rat, a dead router. Hellforge says the sniper is the expert on blending on phones. Well, that's yeah. Sniper's spoken about that before. Kamal, it's good to see you, Kamal. How are you? I'm glad to see you as well. I hope you're well, Kamal. I hope you're staying safe too. Tuatara says plodding along here at a level 1 with secure borders. I can't remember what level we're at here in Victoria, but we're basically back in lockdown again. So the only reasons you can go out are for shopping, grocery shopping, going to the doctor. I think if you have to go to work, you can go out for work, but basically we're back in lockdown. But they want you to work from home if you can work from home. Melbourne's locked down again. Sniper says I posted the Node Bake Wrangler image in Discord. Sorry, I'm just checking out this bake image that Sniper posted in Discord. Okay. That is very cool, actually. Yeah, that is really cool. For all the hate that Smurpery gives Blender does look like it does, and again I use Max, not Blender, but it does look like they've got some really interesting stuff going on in Blender now. I'd like to see Autodesk introduce something like that in Max, where you could bake out in a node. I mean, they have just, Autodesk have just updated the bake to texture stuff in Max, but having a node like that would be really cool. Would be really useful, really handy in Max. So I'm impressed. Blender have got some really interesting stuff going on. Mr. Squarepeg says, I did not know that. Phil had a rat. No, it wasn't a rat, it was a router. It's my Australian accent. The router died. Not the rat, the router. I don't have a rat. Android Lost says, once you left, your router thought it could finally rest in peace. Well, it must have been. I don't know. Because it had been rock solid for two or 3 years. I bought it about 2 or 3 years, the old one, about 2 or 3 years ago. It had been rock solid, but all of a sudden you go away and I come back and the router had died and 2 light bulbs are blown. So I don't know what that's all about, but yeah, two of the light bulbs in the house had blown and my router had died. Everything else was fine. Hellforge says, good thing you didn't have a dead rudder. Otherwise, this ship would be in peril. Ah, dear. Sniper Girl says, my state has been in lockdown for maybe 4 months. Well, we were in lockdown, then they opened up, and now we're back in lockdown because cases started spiking. Because they opened up too soon. You should stay in lockdown. Human lives are more important than profit. Anyway, we're not going there again. Tara says, no lockdown here anymore. We have 20 cases nationally and all of those are at the border. Oh, lucky you. Back in lockdown. Because I know lockdown is not fun. No one likes to be locked up in their home for months and months. But if it means you protect other people in the community or you protect yourself, it's the thing to do. You can put up with a bit of discomfort and a bit of boredom, you know, for some months to save to save your life and to save other people's life. I know it's not fun, but hey, better than the alternative, which is death. It's sort of like, I don't want to get into a tangent on the whole thing, but it annoys me when I hear people complaining and whinging about being in lockdown. You know, grow a pair. You're not going to be in lockdown for the rest of your life. It's only going to be for a while. Gee, get it together, people. So you're bored, find something to do. Do 3D. If you're bored, do 3D. No excuse. If you're in lockdown. Snowberry says, I hate it because I want it to be better because they resist attempts at doing so. Okay. He's talking about Blender, I'm assuming. Sniper Girl says, yeah, huge rat too. Sniper Echo says, I think Max will add a lot of these things, so I think they probably will as well. I mean, the only reason that you can buy the, because you can buy a indie license of 3D Studio Max for cheap for a year. You rent it for a year, basically, because you subscribe to the thing now. The only reason they did that was because Blender was there and was free and everyone was using Blender. So I think you're right, Sniper Echo. I'm pretty sure Autodesk are paying close attention to what's going on with Blender. Sniper says to Mr. Squarepeg, had a look at it. Not sure if I would use it, to be honest. What do you think of it? Sniper Girl says, I complain about being in lockdown. Granted, also accept that it's needed. Renting software, Smurfberry, that's right. We hate renting software. Okay, so Phil should do some texturing. Let's see. So we're not going to be texturing the crystal. We are going to be texturing the rock. So let's start with the rock. Why not? Make sure we're in the right layer. I'm pretty sure I should have a rock texture here, or material here. It seems most of the materials you get from Substance are actually rocks for some strange reason. Let's just have a look at this one. That will work for what we want. I don't even think I need to get too creative with doing mixing of materials here. I don't think it's going to be necessary. It's a rock. It's just something for the crystal to sit on top of. I don't have to get too outrageous with my mixing. I could if I wanted to, but we will concentrate on mixing up the rest of the stuff. Sniper Girl, Hellforge says, remember to save and to bake the color ID with Vertex Paint. Yes, I did those two things. Thank you, Hellforge. I saved and I did bake out with Vertex Color. Sniper says, do 3D in lockdown, he says. If only my hardware for all that, if only I had my hardware for all that time. Yeah, I know, it took you a long time to get your stuff. Actually, I've been impressed. The postal service here recently have been like my router. I got that the next day. I was amazed. Because the last time I had to order stuff online and get it delivered, it took weeks. So the postal service must be getting better. Which was good, because I needed the router for work. And I know you waited a long time as well, Sniper Echo, for your stuff. Sniper Echo says, this guy is the only reason stuff is getting done this stream. Or any stream even, that's right. I can always rely on Hellforge, always good to remind me about things. And he actually, I appreciate him putting links and stuff up as well. Oh, we're going to mix. So we're going to do another mix of it. No. Well, can we come back to the rock if I think it needs a bit more mixing of materials? Let's concentrate on doing the rest of this. So I'm going to jump into my smart materials. And let's have a look at what we got. Sniper Echo says weeks, he says. I know you waited months. I know it was a long time for you, Sniper Echo. Android Love says, I don't mind lockdown, but my state is pretty stupid. Oh no. Well, make sure you stay safe. Even though the state is stupid, Android Lust, you stay safe. Make sure you wash your hands regularly. Try and avoid touching your face. You know all the stuff. You know, I had to wear a mask the other day for the first time. Like, masks in Australia have not been mandatory, and they're still not mandatory. Mandatory. Say it correctly. But I did get some masks because masks are... The reason that they say you should wear a mask is not so much to protect yourself, but to protect other people around you. So you avoid spreading... If you had COVID, you would avoid the human malware. You would avoid spreading it. So the masks are actually to protect other people more than you. So I've decided to start wearing a mask because the outbreak is taking off again in Melbourne, and I want to do my bit to try and make sure that, you know, I help out as much as I can. So I put a mask on when I had to go grocery shopping yesterday. God, they're uncomfortable to wear. They are awful. I mean, I'm going to keep wearing it, don't worry, but man, I couldn't believe just how... I felt like I couldn't breathe because I'm so used to not having anything over my face. I mean, I could breathe fine, but it's just getting used to it was... I found it really, really odd and really uncomfortable. But I'm going to keep doing it when I go out. And thank you, Hellforge. This is the game we're working on right now, the House on Hollow game. You can wishlist it right now on Steam. We're working on assets for that game, and this is going to be an asset in that game. Mandatory. That's right, Snappery. Mandatory. I'm going to try and avoid... I'm so used to touching my face too. Bad, Phil. Bad. Sniper Girl says, also wear masks. Remember to do work. Sniper Rigger says, wait, this is a game? Yes, that's right, this is a game. Okay, so let's see here. Can Phil texture this up in 15 minutes before the stream ends? I love a challenge. I love a challenge. Providing chat don't distract me. Gonna go with... Let's start with this smart material. Now, again, this is a material that I created. It's one of the smart materials I've created for other assets that are in the building. We're going to mask it with color selection. Actually, let me just stop that for a minute. Undo that layer. I'm going to remove the layer at the bottom, which is a blank layer, and I'm going to find just a general metal. Let's have a look at this one. Again, another one of my smart materials. This one I created for a rusty bucket, but it'll work well for anything. It's just different layers of rust and grime as an underlying texture. So we're going to pull the gold above that, turn it back on. I'm just going to clear out the mask. Okay, so now we're going to go for a smart mask. Let's look at... Let's look at this moss one. Just because it says moss doesn't mean you can't use it for something else. So even though the shader, the smart mask was made for like a moss material, we can use it any way we want. No one tells me what to do. If I want to use it for something else, I will. Okay, that's a good start. So this is like our base. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to group both of these together. And we're going to call it bowl base. And let's keep going. Work up from here. Back to our smart materials. Drink some coffee, okay? You cheeky thing. Healthboard says, with this work speed, I bet Phil gets paid by the hour. You get a Phil slap. How cheeky. Cheeky. Okay, let's move on. Let's choose another smart material. Let's go with this one. We're going to mask this one with color selection, and we're going to mask it to a couple of different materials, and we're going to put more materials on top. So we're going to mask it to the body. We're also going to mask it to that. We're also going to mask it to that. And might also, no, I won't. I was going to mask it to the bowl. I'll do it. I'll see if I like it. If I don't like it, then I'll remove it. Actually, I quite like it. I like the fact it's throwing a bit of green in here as well. Okay, so let's find another smart material. Let's look at this one. We're going to mask. Healthwood says worth it. I'm going to mask this to that. And I'm going to go back to our smart masks, and we're going to do a blend. So let's use the surface worn. I'm just moving the color selection above. What I'm doing here is I'm pulling up, I don't know if you can notice it, it's probably more through here where that bit meets this bit. I want to add like a grimy dirt layer where the two have met, because this is an old bowl that's been around for a long time, so dirt will be accumulating in those little crevices. So that's mainly what I'm using the mask here for. I might just pull back a little bit on the blending. It's just not quite set up. You got to shoot off? No problem, Sniper Echo. Thanks for popping in, saying hello, welcoming me back. I do appreciate it. It was good to see you. You have a good night, Sniper Echo. Let's go back to our smart materials. Let's see what else we got to work with. Just want to have a look at this jade. I'm just curious. And again, I'm going to mask this as color selection and pick the bowl. I'm just wondering whether the bowl might look more interesting as instead of being metal, if it's like a jade, just to add a bit of contrast between the decorative base and the actual bowl. What do you guys think? Metal or jade? Metal, jade. Jade? Yep, I agree. I think jade as well. I think that I like the contrast between the metal and the jade. Smurpery says, wait, what colour are the crystals going to be? They're probably going to be burgundy, like a deep red or burgundy. Smurpery. Jade is way better colour? Yeah, I think so. I think I like the way the jade contrasts more with the metal. But what I do want to do is I'm just going to duplicate that layer. And I'm going to just change the base here, the base color a little bit, and darken it up. Like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw down a smart mask. So I'm going to group these two together. I'm going to call it Jade Bowl. And we're going to throw a smart mask down. Actually, I'm going to make sure I do another mask with color selection to make sure it sticks to the bowl. Smurpery says, okay, jade still works. Smurpery says, might add a vein seam like marble since this is a large chunk of jade, a natural impurity. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw down a smart mask. On this one. I'm going to make sure I turn off the height information on the duplicate. I'm just going to go through and do that for all of these because I don't want to double up on the height and the normal. That one off. That one is off. That one is off. Off. Okay, so I think what's going on here I just need to find okay, I think it's this one here, color selection. No, it's not that one. Is it this one? Yeah, I think I'm just going to remove the bowl part of that so it doesn't look quite so raw. Got to find the right layer. Okay, looks like it might be in this layer. It's the ironwork here. I don't like the way we're getting this bump happening in what's supposed to be stone. Remember to save. Good idea. I'll do that. Helpboard says, do you use the color group thing for different parts of the hierarchy? I've started using that. It makes it a bit easier to find stuff if I have a complex material in Painter. No, I don't tend to. I should actually make use of the color grouping thing that you're talking about. That's a good idea, particularly because when we start getting multiple layers of stuff here going on, it can get quite difficult to remember exactly where you are and what belongs to what. So that's a good suggestion. We will do a save, but what I want to do here is I want to remove the bump from the bowl. So I'm going to okay, you know what? I always get confused between the black and the white. No, that was the wrong one. So I'm going to add a white mask. And I'm going to add a paint layer. And I'm just going to paint out the bump from the bowl. I might leave it here and there, maybe around the rim, just to add a bit of interest, a little bit more, a bit more interest to the actual bowl itself. Maybe just a little bit around the rim, there might be a bit of a bump. But I'm going to paint out the bump from the rest of the bowl, because jade generally is not bumpy. Helpboard says right click on stuff in the hierarchy and you get the color squares. You're talking about these? Yeah, it's a good idea. I'll have to make more use of that. Oh no. I must make sure I don't accidentally paint on the on the bit at the bottom. That's okay, we can paint that back in on the feet. So I just have to be a bit more careful in my painting. Okay. Basically what I did with the jade was I created a duplicate and made the lower layer color a little darker, and then used the smart mask. So we got a blend between the two different greens. This makes it look a bit more interesting than just the one flat green color. Let's do a save. Halfwood says, I once knew a woman named Jade who had quite nice pumps. Kamal's Workshop says, enjoy your morning coffee, mate. Thanks, Kamal. So, how are we going here? Oh, I'm almost ready to call it. Almost. Andrew Loss says it's too much of a coffee. I'm too much of a coffee hater. Water is for hydration. Ah, Kamal, I didn't see it. There you go. I will hydrate right now. I do like coffee. Because I never shut up. I never get a chance to actually drink it generally while I'm streaming. And as the Hellboard says, coffee is basically water with some extra flavour. That's right. Let's jump back to the smart materials and let me just decide. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this smart material. We did save just in case. Actually, yeah, I don't like that material as much as I thought I would. Just going to see what else we've got here that might be cool. Maybe. No. What else is here? Let's look at this one. This one might be interesting. Again, I'm going to mask with color selection here. I'm going to mask it to the feet. I'm going to put I'm going to group this. Now, you'll notice the group only has one object, so it doesn't actually need a group. But I'm actually going to group it so I can apply a mask with color selection to the group, even though it's only one layer. And that way then I can come in here and add a smart mask. And let's have a look at subtle scratches. So it's the feet we're looking at here. I can pull up a little bit. Play with that grunge amount a bit. And turn triplanar on. Pull back a little on the curvature. Do a save. Might just also have a look at that. So I've also just applied that to the base bit here, just to give it a bit more interest. I'm just trying to decide if I need to add anything more to the body of the dragon. don't know that I do. I'll just jump back into smart materials really quickly. I'll just see if there's anything else that might be cool. Just have a look at this one. No. Okay, let's keep going, keep going. Let's have a look at this one. Just wait for substance to catch up. Yeah, I really don't like that one. Helpwood's Alona Wolf. It's good to see you, Alona Wolf. My apologies, I got so caught up in what I'm doing. I didn't notice you in chat. Says I don't hate coffee, but never been a coffee drinker myself. I love coffee. Helpwood says, did Algorithmic ever release the actual IQ number of their smart materials? Because I've used a few that Painter ships with, and they were very smart. Basically dumb as a brick. Burberry says, alright, you got a split? Yes, actually I have to go too. Alford says, swim safe Smurf. Android Lost says, see you Smurf. Alona Wolf says, no worries, you're in the zone. Yes, I was. I don't actually think it needs anything more. I could keep going and working on the body of the dragon, but I don't think it needs it. So we're going to do a save, and I think we will call the dragon bowl, crystal dragon bowl, call it done. Because yeah, again, the crystals are going to be a shader in Unreal, so we don't have to worry about doing that in Substance Painter. I think there's enough definition in the dragons for them to stand out enough when they're sitting on a table. So let's export the textures. We're going to be exporting the dragon bowl and the dragon rock, but not the crystal. Let's make sure we export it to the correct folder. Models. Red crystal. The Dragon Brawl Rock, I do not want to save as a 2K texture. We're going to save that as a 512K texture. Should be more than plenty, more than big enough. So let's export. Okay. I think we might call it there today, guys. I do want to thank you very much for hanging out with me and watching, welcoming me back after my 2-week break. I will be back on again tomorrow, of course, at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the United States. I'll be live. And we will work on another asset for probably the attic tomorrow. So more than likely we'll start working on the spiral staircase, I think. But yeah, I'm happy to be back. Good to chat with all you guys. It was great to see you all. I'll be back on again tomorrow, 5 p.m. We can pick up where we left off and start working on more assets for the game. You're quite welcome. I do appreciate you guys being here and watching. You guys stay safe and healthy, and hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you guys.